everyone to Windows on Wellness. This is an opportunity for me to speak with mainly women about what they do in the realm of self-care, but also how they show up to serve others and their top tips for well-being on a daily basis. I'm a big fan of walking your talk, and so I do like to speak to people who tried to do the same. And I'm really delighted to be joined today by a lovely founder and fellow entrepreneur and all things social. I'm sure she'll say more about this today. And the wonderful Gurjinder Bhogal. Welcome, Gurjinder.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing today, my dear?
I am doing really, really well, luckily. Luckily, on the topic we're talking about, I'm doing really well. And I'm really excited to be talking to you. So thank you for inviting me to speak to you.
Absolutely. My pleasure as well. Thank you so much, Gurjinder. So I am going to start by asking you, how do you look after you? How does Gurjinder look after Gurjinder?
Yeah, well, firstly, it's taken me many, many years to realize that Gurjinder does need looking after. And then it took me many, many years to realize it's only Gurjinder that will look after Gurjinder and no one else. So where I was always expecting other people to look after me or waiting for this moment, I just realized it wasn't happening. And I think it's when I became a mum, in 3 decades, it took me 3 decades of my life to realize that actually to be the best that I can be for others, I needed to actually put myself first. And that's where I realized actually it's me first. And that's where the journey of kind of self-love began.
I love
and
that.
It actually started with a handbag.
Oh,
because so I wanted to treat myself to a handbag, but everyone was like, but you've got kids now. You can't surely buy yourself designer handbags now. And I'm like, well, why not? Like, just because I've got kids, why can't I treat myself? And it started with this handbag, which I did buy, and then it led to the actual stuff we think about when we think about self-care, like the massages and looking after myself. But it started with that handbag first.
I love that. I'm going to totally have this image of the handbag. We'll need to hear more about that later. So tell me now what it looks like regularly, whether that's a daily, weekly, monthly practice. What do you give yourself time for?
So I regularly give myself time for getting my hair done. So my appointment's booked every 5 weeks. My hair's done. I get my nails done. I get regular massages done, anything to take care of myself. So those are kind of every month, every 5 or 6 weeks. But on a daily basis, I look after my skin. So I actually have a little ritual for my face and my body. And there is no rushing me in the mornings. There's no rushing me to have my shower or nothing. Not only do I lock the bathroom door, I lock my bedroom door. I've got an ensuite, so no one can come in. That's sacred time for mum to really just prepare myself for the day. And I do the same in the evening as well. I go up at the same time as the kids. So when they go to sleep, I actually start my kind of routine to get into bed, which involves just looking after my skin and my hair. And on a daily basis, as well as that, I just rest. So I sit down, unlike my mum, who I saw constantly on her feet, running around doing everything. I was like, actually, I don't want to show my daughter that. So I sit down, I take a seat. If I feel tired, I sit. If I don't want to cook, I don't cook. And I enjoy hot drinks. Because very early in my journey of being a wife and a mother, I never got to enjoy a hot drink. So it's the little things, right? It's these little things that really compound to be big, beautiful things in the long run.
Oh, I love that. And so simple and straightforward. Doesn't have to take long, or it can take as long as you wish it to.
Exactly, yeah.
And giving ourselves the clock time allows us to experience that inner time, which we so crave. And do you find that helps you to then show up for your clients, and tell us how you show up for your clients?
Yeah, 100%. Once upon a time, I felt like if I'm taking an hour out to go and get a massage or get my hair done, that I wasn't being productive. So it became this self-talk. No one else was saying it to me. It was me saying it to myself, that actually I could be doing XYZ, but actually if I carried on doing XYZ, I was actually burning myself out. So it's really, really important to understand that sometimes the most productive thing you can do, especially as a business owner, is nothing, is rest, is recuperate, and is actually looking after yourself, because it's like taking that step back. That one step back allows you to power through 10 steps forward. But without taking it, you can't do it. And just like you said, because I do work with female entrepreneurs, it's so important for them to see me doing it myself, to see me taking that time out to just look after myself, because actually that's just as important as your strategy, if not more important.
You've taken us there, my dear. So let's do that. I think it really does, and I've witnessed this, it really does echo and resonate with me when you say kind of my phrase now is rest to progress, if you want to go forward. And it reminds me of the kind of, when you do the warrior position, say in yoga, we kind of lean back, but we also then can lean forward. We have to do a bit of both. So I'm getting a really nice visual image of that. Tell me a little bit more about what else you do with the female founders, and then kind of you talked about strategy, helping people to rest, but then what else is it that you're here to contribute to us as clients of yours?
Yeah, so one of the things I realized, I'm a marketing consultant through and through, and I have been for over 2 decades now, so quite a long time. But one thing I realized, especially over the last kind of 4 or 5 years in particular, is that strategy piece isn't enough. That strategy on its own, if you're burnt out, there's no amount of strategy that's going to help you burn out. And as females, especially as females, we're cyclical beings, and we're not expected, we shouldn't be operating in the same energy 365 days a year. That we should ebb and flow and allow ourselves to ebb and flow. And as I started to attune myself more to being a female and not actually really taking on the masculine way that we're sold on how we should do business and how we should live our lives, I just realized that there was just a more beautiful way of showing up in the world. And it was following your cycle, following the moon cycles, following natural rhythms of the universe, which do involve resting, slowing down, meditating, and kind of going inwards rather than keep on pushing outwards. So that's become a massive, massive part of my business now. So yes, we still do the strategy, but we blend a lot of that soulful stuff as well, where rest actually becomes a vital part of that strategy.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, again, the question is, are you in your strategy? If you're not in your strategy and the time for you is not allocated, and you don't have kind of key performance measures for how much did I rest, wouldn't that be amazing if we measured how much we rested and then saw the correlation between that and our productivity? And like you said, with nature, nature always has a plan, but nature achieves all of that in good time, and it's never overly rushed. It's at pace, it's with grace. I love that. So I could talk to you about this particular point for the whole of our time together, but I'm we'll have to do a part 2.
We will have to.
But so lastly, for this Windows on Wellness, can you give me 2 or 3 of your really, really treasured tips for staying well as a female entrepreneur in the world today?
Yeah, I can. And, there's a lot of noise, like even in the wellness industry now, there's a lot of noise, and there's 100 things that you can do to keep well. And it's sometimes like, well, what do I start with? What do I do first? And one of the things I always recommend is almost having like a menu of things that work for you, because the things that work for you might not work for somebody else, and the things that work for someone else might not work for you. So it's really about finding out the things that you really enjoy and the things that make you feel good, because once you feel good, you're going to do good. And just keep these menu of items. So when you feel a bit meh, you've got this whole menu of things that that work for you that you can go to. And it's almost like becomes your own toolkit. of things that you can go to, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's having a massage, getting your hair done, any of these kind of things. Another thing that I do is I ask myself a really simple question. Do I need soothing or do I just need shifting? Do I need to soothe my current state or do I need to shift my current state? And if I need to soothe, I will just have, well, not now because I don't really eat sugar, but I would have just had like the chocolate. I would just eat the chocolate. I would just go and have the massage. I would just go and get my hair done. I would just soothe myself with however I need soothing. Or if I really just need to shift my funky energy, I will go for a walk or I'll go and get some exercise or I'll do some movement to really allow those things to shift. So I think those are the two kind of key areas that I would really check in with myself. And I guess it's kind of just giving yourself that temperature check. Ask yourself from 1 to 10, how am I feeling? And give yourself a rating. And if you're kind of like 3 or 4, you're like, okay, I need to do something about it because really I want to be at optimal 9 or 10. And that doesn't mean I'm doing lots of stuff, but it's just I feel good inside.
Yeah.
And that's what will make you feel good.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Gajinda. I love those two things. The thinking about the toolkit that you have. And when you go to that toolkit, are you looking for the tool to soothe or to shift? Just brilliant. So much value in just a very short conversation with you. It always is a pleasure to speak with you, my dear.
And you as well. Thank you so much again for inviting me on.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone. We will put all Gajinda's details in the comments below. And that's a wrap for this episode of Windows on Wellness.